Welcome to episode 55 of Paranormal Pendle, broadcasting to the Paranormal UK network at paukradio.com. So, my guest on this episode, really glad to have him on today. It's taken a bit of sorting out, mainly because, as you probably noticed, I haven't done a podcast for about a month. I unfortunately came down with COVID for the second time. Which sort of put me out for about 3 weeks again. So if people tell you it's a cold, it isn't. So that's why we've been a little bit lazy putting podcasts out over the last few weeks. But I'm really pleased to have Mark Reynolds with me today. We've had to reschedule, so thanks for being so patient with me, Mark, and great to have you on the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. So we initially contacted, didn't we, on Facebook?
Yeah.
I think you might have started following my page. I can't remember now, but we definitely started talking on Facebook. We have a little bit of a common interest in championship football teams, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, rubbish ones.
Yeah, you're Stoke, aren't you? Stoke City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for people who know me, I'm very sadly Blackburn Rovers. But it's not all it's not all £100 million transfers, is it? Like it is in the Premier.
No.
We have to live off scraps, don't we? So yeah. So it's
And no matter what, we'll still follow them, won't we? So it doesn't matter what we say about it, we'll still follow them. We're still idiots, aren't we?
Absolutely. You've got to follow your team, haven't you, through the good times and the very bad times. So it's been great to contact with you and to just basically we've been talking on Facebook for a while. So I wanted to get you on and have a bit of a chat with you because you've been interested in the paranormal for a long time. So you tell me. So tell me how it all started for you then.
I think really it's been from childhood, I think, more than anything. I think UFOs are my biggest thing, and Arthur Clarke's Mysterious World. I think that's what got me into the paranormal a lot bit and the strange a little bit more than anything, because that was on at the time. And then obviously Most Haunted come along, as probably everyone knows. And that was it, really. And I just started to follow buying UFO magazine. Every time it come out, I'd get a copy of it, started read about it, learn about it. But my memory's not very good, so I forget a lot. So that's the only problem I have sometimes with stuff like that. But it's just got me interested. I've just been interested in it. And then I like a little bit of witchcrafty stuff, so I like a bit of pagan and stuff and all that. So it's just come along, and as I've got older,
Yeah.
got back into it again more than anything.
Okay, well that's interesting then, because when are you a practicing pagan?
No, I'd like to be. I mean, I'd love to be, but I think work and life just gets in the way sometimes. I mean, I do believe that paganism and spiritualism and ghost hunting and all this, well, if you want to call it ghost hunting, is all linked anyway. So it's all a metaphysical thing, isn't it? I think that's the right word for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, have you ever had any paranormal experiences yourself, or is it just something that you sort of read about and enjoy finding out about, various different places and stuff that are reputably haunted?
I've had a few experiences myself, and I'll honestly say now I'm the biggest skeptic in the world. And sometimes I dismiss them, and I try to dismiss them. When I first started out on it, they called me the skeptic in the group, but I was with originally years and years ago. So I just tried, because some of it can be explained away quite easily. It's not a problem explained quite easily. And obviously the power of suggestion is a big thing as well, isn't it? Which everyone seems to fall into. Well, they used to fall into it when I was doing it originally anyway.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you suggest something and everyone's all of a sudden everyone's got it, the cold spot, this, that. And, yeah, I felt that, and I felt all this. And
Yeah.
but then what I used to try and do, and is to try to break away. If I was with a group, I'd try to break away and go on my own. Because I think sometimes on your own you can pick little things up that you think, it's a bit strange.
Yeah.
And when I was with a group up, we did a place called Wood Farm, which is local to me. And I don't know whether he does investigations up there, so I'm not too sure, to be honest. But it's near Croxteth Abbey, an old abbey,
Mhm.
and he's got a brand new barn built there, and there's just something up there that's I don't know. I can't explain. I had one night up there where I had to go move away from everybody and sit on the stage down the bottom of the stage, and I was sitting there. I could feel like a draft coming in. I thought, well, someone left the door open first straight away at the top, but no, there's nothing. I couldn't feel anything like that. It was like people literally walking past me, went past me, and I shouted to one of my friends over, and I said to him, "says Just come down here, man. Just sit where I'm sitting. Can you feel it?" He said, "No, nothing." Sat back down there, felt it again, and I thought, "This is really strange. There's something really strange going on here," and I can't explain that away. But after I got told it was apparently part of the processional way for the monks to the abbey.
Right.
So whether I was picking something up from that, I don't know. But it's strange that no one else seemed to get the scene. But we did we played some monk chanting music, and we seemed to get a lot of responses to it as well, which is
Okay.
quite interesting, to be fair.
So what sort of things happened when you did that then? Can you remember?
Well, there was things moving around, there was noises and everything. It was just seemed like it just kicked something off. It was
Yeah.
only lasted for about 2 or 3 minutes, but it wasn't majorly just, but there was something definitely happening in that place when it happened.
Mm.
Which for me, I'm still trying to explain things away. I'm still trying, well, it could be that, it could be that, and it could be this. But I think probably that's the way I like to work, I think, more than anything. I'm not the sort of person who'll just go in and expect get something. Because I
Yeah.
don't think it's the right way work, to be fair.
No, it isn't, and that's one of the big bugbears that I have with paranormal investigator groups that charge money, because
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I
when you
do agree with you on that.
when you're paying to go to a place that you are told is haunted, and you're paying, you expect to see something or hear something. And you're right about your senses being heightened. I mean, there's obviously a lot of studies been done about how our senses adapt if you're in total darkness, for instance. So when you haven't got your eyesight, you suddenly your hearing or your smell becomes more heightened, and you can pick things up that you wouldn't normally
Yeah.
pick up. And so that again is one of the reasons why a lot of these paranormal investigation units do things at night. I mean, ghosts do not only
I
at night.
no, I totally agree with you on that. And to be honest, most of my stuff's been in the daytime.
Yeah. So
The stuff I've got been in the daytime, definitely.
yeah, so do you think you're very in tune with uh what's going on? Do you think you have that
I
ability?
I have been told I am, but personally, I don't think I am. But I must be, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a. I think it's just that skeptical side of me again, coming out again. I mean, I can't knock anybody for having an experience. I won't knock them because people do have experiences which they can't explain away.
Hmm.
But mine, I find it quite funny, to be fair. And someone's put something on Facebook today. I've answered the question, Mark, about do you feel intimidated? But I went, no, I don't feel that if something comes around me spirit wise,
Hmm.
I don't feel intimidated at all. I just don't get that. Oh, got to run. I don't like it in here. I'm going to run away. I think I like to find out what's going on.
Yeah,
And I think,
you don't do the sort of screaming thing
no, oh God,
a lot
no.
of them do and running off and
To be honest, I think that for me could be a lot to do with. I know one person who's very, very empathic. He's very empathic. So if he picks anything up which the class is dark,
hmm.
straight away it's horrible in here, blah blah blah. I don't like this, I don't like that, and it's horrible in here. But there's a place actually it leads me on quite nicely. There's a place that we used to do a place called the Apedale Heritage Museum in Stoke, well Chesterton, Stoke on Trent it is.
Yeah.
And the team I used to be with actually still do it, they still run it actually there. But that place is very, very strange. It's got a very, very strange thing about it. Now, there's a museum there, an heritage centre there, because it used to be an old mine there. But up the road, there was a Roman fort.
Right.
It's not a very well-known Roman fort. And across the way from it, there's a Roman village and a bit of a Roman settlement there. And actually, one of my old houses where I used to live in Chesterton, it was actually on a Roman building. I didn't know till the other day. I didn't find out till the other day. And I've been left there years now, which is quite interesting.
Mm.
But I I thought to myself one day, I'll go into this investigation, open-minded as I am anyway. But I'm not going to go in negative because I'm quite a negative person, to be honest. But
Mm.
when I went in, I thought to myself, no, I'm going to go in and not go negative, not go dark, not go negative, not go. I'll just go in as normal. And the place just lightened up for me, if you know what I mean by that. It wasn't. It's there's cold spots there, and it's very strange. We've asked the mining staff there. There's no pits under there where the cold spots could be coming from.
Right.
So outside at the back of the building, there's like a little sort of alleyway sort of thing that goes onto a car park. Well, a lot of other people say to me the car park, so I was very interested. He picked stuff up in the car park. So this one time I went to investigation, went round the back, and I just got people to go around the back of the museum just to see what they got and experience. And they all said, "Oh yeah, it's cold. There's a real cold spot there, isn't there?" So yeah, and and the next time I went, I thought, well, I'm reading a bit more about this now. Let me just think about this now and get my head around it. What's going on here? And I just thought to myself, this is an old spirit. It's a very, very old spirit.
Mm.
And that's all I kept getting in my head. It's a very, very old spirit. Now, people have said to me they've had this happened to them there, this happened to them there, which I've never experienced. So I can't, it's not up to me to say if they got it or not. I don't know.
Mm.
But to me, it just seems like a spirit that wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people can go in a bit too harsh. It's like a child, isn't it? Wants your attention. They're going to prod at you. They're going to pull at you. They're going to do this at you. They're going to do this at you, aren't they? All the time. They're going to want to get your attention, aren't they? So
Yeah.
and then the more I've gone after that, I thought to myself, this spirit's supposed to be left alone. Just leave me alone and just let me get on with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think people going in and making it dark and making it negative and making it worse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. By
So
being over emotional about it and overreacting and
yeah. And,
yeah,
and I think it promotes a
negative.
negative side of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have a say.
Now,
We have a saying in Lancashire, going in ham-fisted,
yeah,
which
yeah,
means going in with both feet, jumping in and not thinking about the consequences. And I certainly believe that there are some people, I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush. I mean, I can't because I'd like to interview some of them, so
yeah, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
mention I
Yeah, no,
can't
what do you
mention
mean?
names, But I'm
Yeah,
sure I'm sure that there are a lot of very ethical investigators, but there are and a lot of them tend to be for entertainment purposes. So we're talking about
yeah.
TV investigators, the really well known ones. It's just purely that's all it is. It's just entertainment,
It is, yeah. And
and they go in to provoke a response from people around them rather than trying to actually establish whether there is any energy there or there is any
yeah.
is any residual energy which is perhaps left behind.
Well, I mean, a friend of mine there, I mean, Julie, a friend of mine she's a medium, and she got totally overwhelmed there
Mm.
by it. And I've just never ever experienced that. Whether that's because I'm not letting them in, I don't know. But the interesting thing about Oakdale is, I I, I went a talk up there. This was about a couple of months ago now, I think.
Mm.
Local archaeological group up there, and the interesting thing about that was that I instinctively thought, is this spirit, is it a ritual site? Is it all this and all that? And I thought, no, I sort of slipped away from that a little bit because it's very easy to get into the ritual thing and on old sites. And
Yeah.
I asked the archaeology guy, he said, well, there's been nothing found there that's Roman. So there's nothing, there've been no artifacts found there or anything like that. But about maybe 200 yards down the road where you come in, on the driveway, you come up to the site. There possibly was an old Roman road that's not marked.
Yeah.
Now, when he told me that, I went, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right to say, oh shit, aren't I?"
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I went, "Oh shit, that could correspond with what I was getting in the back of the museum because it's literally 200 yards away."
Yeah.
Now, Roman sites and Roman roads always had things going on, even if it's just a little Roman road, because the original Roman road that runs from the fort at Chesterton was Rykenard Street,
Right.
which is where I live now. I actually live off it, to be fair. I live on the same Roman road, but the other end of the city, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But this road, he thinks, ran from where the fort was up to a little village called Madeley, which is the other side of Newcastle under Lyme. Now, if that's right, and it does prove that it is a Roman road, he's still researching, he's still going to check it.
Mm.
But it could well have been just a guy selling his wares at the side of the road. Maybe he was doing ritual stuff at the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could have been doing it there. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's very likely, that even though it's a small Roman road going off that we don't know about, there was people selling wares or something going on there. So maybe, is that what we're getting? Is that what everyone's getting there? I don't know.
And there will have been a lot of foot traffic as well from
Yeah,
the
of course, Lord.
soldiers
Yeah.
and stuff. So I mean there are a lot of minor Roman roads. You know, I mean we all know about the main ones, Watling Street and
Yeah.
all those. You know, that's the first one that comes to mind. I can't think of any others. Fossway, there's another one. But I mean there is a minor Roman road here near to where I live, and there has been strange things happen in the area where that it is marked on the map. I mean, it's obviously only part of it that they've found. It will stretch further on both sides. It obviously will connect somewhere to somewhere, uh,
Yeah.
but they have found part of it which goes to a very small settlement at Ribchester on the River Ribble.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was an inland port, and in fact they've done a lot of we're going into archaeology here now. They've done a lot of archaeology there, and they actually a few years ago unearthed a bathhouse, so you can actually go and have a look at that. So my point is that there will have been legions using all different types of roads, and that sort of thing can leave things behind.
Yeah. Oh, I
The
think
edge.
definitely.
Yeah,
I think definitely energies are left behind.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no shadow of doubt about that in my mind. Anyway, I'm a great believer in that.
Yeah. So you could have been picking up anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Could have been. Yeah.
You could have been picking up a Roman soldier.
Yeah.
Somebody could have died on that road. I mean, they might have been marched so much that somebody collapsed and died. They might have been ill and died, or it could have been somebody who, like you say, had a pitch there selling stuff to the people that were using the road, and they've just not moved on when they've died because they were that attached to that and what they were doing. I mean, there's all sorts of explanations, but it's interesting that you picked up on it because I think that's a really interesting point.
Yeah. Well, there was actually something said inside as well, which I found quite interesting because another person there said they felt there was a lot of bones there, a lot of old bones. Now, I think that's what threw me off the ritual side of things because apparently I found out since that they wouldn't find no bones there because ritual sites were cleared.
Yeah,
So anything that was done ritualistic was actually cleared away.
could have been a burial.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the place now, you'd never think there's a Roman road there because it's been quarried away. Because it's mined there, it's been quarried there. The place is like completely different now.
Yeah,
But when he takes you up onto when you go have a walk around the actual park itself now, because like you have a walk around the park now, you go up on the hill and you look to where the school is, you can actually see a straight line of trees,
right.
a perfect straight line.
That's where they're
And I
all.
think that's what's got him to thinking, this could be a road because I think he must have heard rumours there's a road that runs to the village called Madeley. See, it could be that that's what it was there. Now, if that is true and that does come out to be true, that's quite interesting for me because I think I've actually got something there.
Yeah. So you need to do more research then.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm waiting. Well, hopefully, his paper when he's still doing the papers, because he's obviously an archaeologist. He's got to do his papers and he's got to do it right, hasn't he? So
Yeah. No, that's
but
interesting.
yeah, I mean, I went. It's like Matlock Pavilion, not Matlock Pavilion, Matlock Town Hall.
Yeah.
I went there. This was virtually the second time I got invited on with a group I went with, which was the Ghost Academy from Stoke, and we went there. I got a private invite. Me and my wife went, and there's only a couple of us who went, and that for me was proper. I've never had proper proof like I had there more than anything. So we went round the investigation. You expect to get in a place like that. You go in the dance floor. You expect to get movement on the dance floor, which yeah, little bits and bobs, but I didn't really get a lot of that. But people sort of got fascinated with this stairway, and I was like thinking, nah, I'm gonna have a walk around. And I walked down the hallway and I'm thinking, oh, this is strange now. I've got people falling here, they fell.
Right.
And I thought, it's a bit, what's going on here?
But actually fell down the stairs.
Well, this, well, what happened is that I sort of got ignored a little bit about it when I'd said it.
Mm.
But one of the lads who was there, sort of, when we come to break time, he says, you know what you said upstairs? I went, yeah, about the foot. He says, yeah, well, I've just looked and two people fell from the bell tower when they were building the building.
All right, okay.
And that was another of them moments, shit moments again.
Mm.
But that was quite interesting to me but when I went up to the actual bell tower itself upstairs, I got absolutely nothing.
Right.
It just felt comfortable, nothing. But it was nice to feel that, to get something that's actually been proved that I was getting, because I try not to research anything. I don't like researching places.
So
Because I think you can come out with a load of, you can give people a load of rubbish, can't you? Just tell them anything, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. So this,
and people will take it in, and people will fall for it.
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah, absolutely. So the building itself then, is it you mentioned the dance floor. So
yeah,
it's where people used to go dancing or still go
dancing.
Yeah.
I think it's Victorian, if I remember right. It's just a Victorian building, so it would have been used for that sort of entertainment purposes. And I think they've had stuff going on there when they played like 30s, 40s music on there.
Right.
But the thing is, the paranormal for me, what I find strange sometimes about this, people seem to get stuff that no one else gets. I find it's interesting for me, that is, because we're all getting different experiences in the same place.
Yeah.
Now
it's been described, hasn't it, as tuning into different frequencies. So
yeah,
you can,
the more I learn about that, the more I think that is, the more I do believe that now. Yeah.
It's like an old analog radio where you're twiddling the dials.
Yeah.
And you've got to get it just perfect to pick up, the signal clear so you can hear it. And some people have got that ability to sort of internally dial, to within that such a degree that they can focus in on different energies. But it is interesting that you go somewhere and one person can pick up one thing and another person can pick up another. Myself and my wife went to a school quite a while ago now, and it's actually in the first book that I wrote. And we went in one particular room which was well known for feeling strange. And I picked up on this strangeness. It was like a heaviness, but my wife picked up on a name. So she was feeling and picking up on something completely different to me.
Yeah.
Neither of us pretend to be mediums. Neither of us, will say to somebody, we can go anywhere and pick up, ghosts and spirits and everything else. We just sometimes have a feeling when we go into a place. So I think it's interesting that you were obviously picking something up that other people weren't when you went to this place.
Yeah.
Did you pick anything else up as well while you were there then?
No, that's the funny thing is, no, I didn't. I didn't seem to get the only thing I would say, which I've I didn't really at the time. I didn't really think about it at the time, but we were doing one in one of the rooms there, and I looked towards the door, and I could see like a mist on the door, like a cobwebby mist. I thought, hmm, I'm just seeing that. Is that just my eyes not adjusting to the darkness a little bit in the light? But I don't know now because I've heard it said by other people as well now. So I don't know whether that's
All right, so that's been
some.
seen before then, has it, by other people?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah,
Other people. That's interesting. Yeah, because sometimes that can be a sort of manifestation in itself.
yeah,
You know, a sort of misty, not even the figure really. It can just be a sort of misty sort of mass, if you like, or just a mist that's just hovering in the air. But it can be the start of a manifestation, or it can
yeah,
be the whole manifestation
yeah.
itself. You know,
It,
I've heard that before.
very strange.
Mm.
Very strange.
Did you get any
I
feeling about what that was, or
no, I think it's more come to me recently about that because I don't know what I think I must have listened to another podcast or something. Or seen it, read it somewhere that I thought, oh, I saw that at Matlock,
right? Yeah,
and then it's just clicked in and gone, oh, I've seen what they've said about that. That's strange. It's strange. It's just because I've not thought about it at all, forgot about it. Then someone's mentioned it. I've gone, oh, yeah, hang on, I did see that.
yeah. Something come back to you. Yeah, I've people have told me of similar experiences from different places all over the country. So it's a phenomena that happens. It's just we don't really probably understand what it is, you know.
Well, I mean, thing is with paranormal, are we ever going to understand it? I don't think we are we? I,
No,
I
we're not.
just think it's one of them things that I think that like I think I'll say that I've said this before to a lot of people. I think 99% of it can be explained away anyway,
Mm,
but that 1% will just keep you that little bit of interest in it,
yeah,
which is like me because I mean I come away from it completely years ago, but I've just got back into it again, and it's got me hooked again a little bit, if you know what I mean. But I'm obviously not with a group no more, but
mm,
I like to go out and try and see one pick up in old buildings and old stuff like that, like I've said before. But I just think sometimes you've got to do it on your own as well.
yeah. Because you're
And
not being influenced by other people, then, are you?
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've done investigations before and I've worked with people and it's been absolutely brilliant. And then other people, I mean, we went to Shrewsbury Prison. Shrewsbury Prison for me, I didn't rate it at all.
Right.
But I think that's because the guests we got weren't getting involved enough, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like a laugh and a joke with them lot that we took. And I think sometimes it gets it loses you lose that energy levels, don't you, a little bit, I think.
Yeah. If you're not taking it at least seriously, um, I think it's if you've got people who are messing about. This is one of the reasons why, again, I am the same as you. I don't go on group investigations. I'd have to be very careful about who I went on investigations with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I'm like that, to be
selective.
fair. I mean, I went to Derby Jail on Saturday. I had a private invite to Derby Jail. We were just out having a coffee with my lady were and one of the lads who worked there I went there, Derby Jail, and I found that interesting place because it's there was things there that it's like people coming past you, walking past you like cold drafts every now and again. And I'm trying to spot where the cold draft's coming from. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
It's like people moving around you and about you, and that's the sort of stuff I like. And that's what I laugh and joke about because I like that.
yeah,
It's not horrible. It don't feel horrible or nothing. I don't get nothing horrible with it. Which I think, I mean, touch wood, I might be lucky, but I don't get possessed or nothing like that, which which could take me to another story, but that's going back a fair few years, and that was just for me one of the funniest things, and I've got to laugh about it because it was so funny.
Oh, go on. You have to tell me
We,
now.
we went into this pub in Leek. We went downstairs in the cellar.
Oh, no
And
leak.
at the
I know leak quite well.
sorry.
I know leak quite
Yeah,
well.
Leek. Yeah, it was in Leek. The Red Line in Leek.
Right. I think
Yeah,
we stayed on,
yeah,
but I stayed there one New Year. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, the cellar. Went in the
Up
cellar.
on the moors.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. 100%.
Leek's quite interesting, actually. To be fair,
One. Yeah.
I'm not far from that. About 7 or 8 miles away from Leek. We are where we live.
Okay.
Uh, so she's in the cellar, and she just totally went to, something's got me. She goes on the floor, and I'm thinking, the guy, the medium at the time, said, I said, first aid, right? He says, yeah, well, yeah, but I'm sorry, but I'm not doing anything. She says, why? Because I think she's play acting.
Right.
And you could sort of see it in her. You could see it building up. And I thought she'd play. Anyway, I said, listen, I said, I'm going to have to go out of the way because I don't believe she's been possessed by something. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
And literally, I went upstairs, got myself a drink upstairs, and it must have been 5 minutes if that.
Yeah.
She come up, went. Now, if she's been possessed by something, within 5 minutes, she suddenly come round and gone and walked out of the pub
No.
and gone home.
No.
Doesn't seem right to me, that.
It's not going to happen, is it? I mean,
No.
the late great Derek Acora,
Oh,
I think probably started a bit of a trend of this. But I just find it so so negative when people
yeah, I do.
do
I
things.
can't see the point. What's the point in going to play act?
Well, there isn't, is there?
And that's the same with any group. Same with any group. I
Oh.
mean, there is groups out there, and they probably know who they are anyway. But they will play act, and they will put it on. They will put it on for the guests.
Yeah, and like I said earlier on, if people are paying to,
Yeah,
you know, to go to see a ghost, then
yeah, yeah. You want to see a ghost, don't you?
something's gonna happen, isn't it? You know, otherwise they're not gonna come back and keep paying, are they?
Well, the group I was with years and years ago, they did quite a good thing because they put a disclaimer,
Hmm.
and everyone had to sign a disclaimer because people were trying to get the money back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were saying, "Oh, we haven't seen a ghost. We haven't had anything," and I'm thinking, "Well, hang on a minute."
You know, I mean,
And then so
it's not like Ghostbusters, is it? You're not going to
no,
see a
no, no, it's not.
full torso. How did he describe it? Full torso, free floating. You know,
Yeah,
the woman down in the library. You know, and
yeah, yeah. The white lady
you're
floating around.
not going to see anything like that, are you?
No.
That brings us actually on to one of the places you mentioned in your in the preparatory email that you sent me was
Yeah.
White Ladies Priory.
Well, well. What can I say about that place? Shot bit of a experience for me.
Okay.
For forget something what I got there, and I still to this day I still can't explain it, and it is my go-to thing every time when I mention my experiences. So literally, it's come about. I've read. I know guys wrote a few books. I know. I've got his name. My head's gone. Anyway, but he mentioned White Ladies Priory in his book. And I thought, well, I'm going to go White Ladies Priory. It's not. It's about half an hour away, I think, something from me. 40 minutes away from me, so it's not far. It's on the Staffordshire Wolverhampton border.
Right.
So we goes out. Well, it's near Boscobel House where Charles II, first. I always get the Charles numbers wrong. He was actually held up there when he was on the run.
Charles First.
Charles first.
Yeah.
Well, that was shut, so we couldn't get in there. So we'll go down to White Ladies Priory.
Mhm.
No one there, just me and my wife walking round. And then like I said before, I've got a fascination for old churches. I think a lot of it comes from think what was on the land before and stuff like that. But I'm walking around. There's like a spot on the priory where it's been a burnt wall, Now, whether the fireplace is there or not, I don't know. Whether it was just a fire that's been caused by somebody having a fire there. But I got the urge to touch the wall, which I like to do sometimes. I sometimes get that little bit of feeling off buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I put my hand on the wall, like, oh, sort of pulled away quickly. And I went, it's a bit strange. Put my hand back on. I thought, right, I'm going to hold my hand on the wall, which is what I did. And it was like, I was there for about, I must have been 3 or 4 minutes behind on the wall. And I come away and I thought to myself, why am I so upset? And I started to cry, physically cry. And my wife said, what's up with you? What's up with you, Alex? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Tears coming down my face. I was crying. I thought, oh God, what's happening here? Very, very strange, like an emotional attachment to the building.
Interesting.
So it's, yeah, I mean, I don't, to me, my words were, oh, it's like a most haunted moment. But that was my words, because it's one of them moments when you think, you see it on TV, but you don't expect it to happen to you.
I think it's just been put on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been put on. So anyway, on the way back home, we stopped off in Stone on the way back home, have a drink. And Marley started a bit of research. Now, what we found out as it was set up by, well, they think it was set up. There's a lot of discrepancies on who actually set it up, but the one we found was it was set up by a woman named Emma. But she was a daughter of a guy named Reynolds, a Polniak or something like. I can't remember the name of the place he's from, but somewhere in Shropshire. And I thought, oh my, that's a bit same surname.
A bit close to home, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. This is a bit strange, but so I've done a bit more stuff after since, which is recently actually, and there's also another woman named Emma. She was married to this lord or this guy. I can't remember his name now. I forgot his name, but he was quite well known. But on that one, it said she didn't know her father.
Right.
So I don't know what's what, but I thought the Reynolds name coming up was quite interesting because how it was spelt as well. Well, they hadn't spelt it the old way and the right. They spelt it Reynolds like mine, because it's normally spelt RENULDS, or the French sort of Norman sort of way of it.
Yeah, the Norman way of doing it. Yeah.
And I just found, what the hell was that about? What was that about? And it still shocks me now, to be fair.
Do you ever sort of get the urge to look into your family tree?
Well, I have started, but the interesting thing with family tree is, which I can't get that far back, and I've got back to a certain degree, but the Reynolds is originally, my dad didn't know his dad, so I can't trace. So I've got my nan's name sort of thing. You know what I mean? Got her surname, my dad's surname. So, but the Reynoldses apparently were from Gloucester, Bristol area originally. So they're for the sort of like borderline-ish Gloucester, Bristol area. Which takes me on to another little investigation we did. So when we first joined the Ghost Academy, we won a competition to go on an investigation. Well, the investigation was at Bishton Hall. Now, never been Bishton Hall. Knew it was there, I'd never been. Now,
whereabouts
we went to Bishton Hall.
Whereabouts?
Have you been Bishton?
No, I've
Craig?
Never. No.
It's quite interesting, to be fair. It's owned by some antique guy now, some big, massive antique guy, quite well-known guy.
Whereabouts is it?
It's in Staffordshire.
All right, okay.
So, yeah, so it's not far from Stafford, actually. It's not far from Stafford. But we went into one room, and God, I don't like saying this because I don't like them, to be fair. So running an app on a phone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which app it was, but this name come up, this Emily or Emma name come up, which doesn't relate to the other Emma. I'm thinking white ladies. But my wife had to come out of the room because she felt quite emotional and quite overwhelmed with something. She felt like someone had been abused there or something like that.
Right.
So anyway, we get back. Next few days, did a bit of research. Well, there was a woman named Emma who lived there. She was a housemaid
No.
who lived there. So we did a bit of, found her name out, did a bit of tracking down on the census. And we found out she died. She went down to Gloucester and Gloucester area, I think it was, Bristol, something like that, Gloucester. Oh, so it was Bath. It was Bath, sorry, Bath, which is not far off.
No.
So we looked at the household, and living in the household was an actual bloke named John Reynolds.
All right. Okay.
So we thought, and that's all come for the first sort of all quite close together. And I thought, it's another strange thing as well. The names come up again.
Yeah.
They're not related, by the way. That John Reynolds isn't related to me. There is John Reynolds in my family, but I don't think it's nothing to do with me. I can't find any link. So, no. So, I just think the surnames come up again, which is quite interesting. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't know.
It's not that common a surname, is it?
It is quite common. Oh, yeah, it is. It is quite a common surname, but
Right.
it's just I just found it strange that
I don't know
it's
many.
come up twice, quite close together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is a coincidence, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting then. So you obviously had an emotional reaction
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you touched the wall.
I don't. I've been back since, and I didn't get nothing.
No.
But whether that's because I was expecting it to get something, I don't know. Because your mind works in funny ways, don't it? Sometimes your mind just think, well, I'll go back and I'll get something else won't happen now, but it didn't. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind I didn't get anything. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're expecting it, then
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily happen that way, does it? So
No. No. It. I don't know. The paranormal's a tricky thing, and is it
yeah.
paranormal? Is it just psychological? Is it your mind just thinking you can do this, or I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, the stone tape theory is quite interesting, isn't it? Because
Well,
obviously,
yeah.
energy being stored within a building or within a place or a
I think we need another name for that, really, don't we? Stone tape theory. It's
we do
a bit
these
of a
yeah, we do these days because we don't use tapes anymore, do we? So you can tell how long ago it was that somebody
yeah,
claimed
yeah.
that name. We'd have to call it, I don't know.
Well, actually, I did actually
Stone
buy
MP3.
I did actually buy a tape recorder to record EVPs,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work now. It stopped working.
Right.
I
Right.
went to take it, it didn't work. It worked fine before. When I went to take it, it just didn't work. It stopped working.
Yeah. Sometimes you
Yeah,
can get electrical interference, can't you? Which is an interesting thing in itself. I think that certain places there does seem to be more electromagnetic
yeah, which is why I think
places than others.
this is why I think I went Mosley Old Old. I went Mosley and I walked through the gardens there, and I went, oh God, here we go again. So Marley says, what's up with you again? Says, oh, look at them over there, walking over there past the wall. Says, no one there. Says, you're there walking past the wall. And I could see it as clear as I can see you now, Craig, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was just a repeat, a repeat, a repeat. It must have been gone on for about 2 minutes. It wasn't like a brief thing, it was like a 2 minute thing of seeing people walking along a wall, like strolling around the garden,
Yeah.
which I'm thinking, hang on a minute. If I just seen a quick glance of it, yeah, you could think I'm seeing things, but nah, I don't. And that's what you say could be the stone tape theory. It comes just a memory that you're picking up that's come back to it. Everybody and you've seen it.
So you actually saw people
I
walk.
actually saw people there. There must have been about I think about 3 women and a couple of blokes with them. Maybe just walking. I think I'm not sure. I'd like to say Elizabethan, but I don't know.
Did you feel as
It
if
could be later.
you might have been looking through a time slip?
Well, I've never actually thought about it like that. To be fair, but maybe I could have been. Yeah, maybe I could have been.
Because you might not necessarily have gone through, but you might have been seeing something through from a previous time.
Yeah,
I mean, time slips are there's definitely something to them because of the number of people who've experienced where they've had a whole body experience where they've physically felt that they've been removed from the present time and taken back to a past time in that particular location.
Yeah, yeah. It,
So you
I always thought there were times so don't the area around them change though as well?
can do, yeah, but you
Yeah. Well, I'd say I didn't have none of that. It was like
no,
I literally, yeah.
but you were
It was just I
looking
could
through.
see him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Rather than actually
It
going.
was like looking through. I suppose looking through an invisible curtain.
Yeah,
If that's the right way to put it, I suppose that's what I was seeing. I suppose. Yeah.
that's a good way of describing it. And somebody opened the curtains.
Yeah. 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 Maybe that's it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's a good way to explain it. That is. Yeah. I like that. I like. I'll use that one.
Go on, you can have that one.
Yeah. I love that. Thanks.
Tell me then what you think about ley lines, because that links in what we're talking about.
Yeah. I think I've got it. I'm actually trying to write something at the moment. I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to finish off at the moment. Now, we all know, I think we all know that a lot of ancient sites are on ley lines, if you want to call them ley lines or energy lines or whatever you want to call them. And I find them fascinating because I think if you think about back in the early days of man, and if you're walking across a bit of land and you feel something under your feet, you're going to grab your mate, aren't you? Say, look, Dave or whatever, come here. Just, oh, yeah. And what to me, I think if you don't know what it is, you're going to go, oh, hang on, I'll mark this spot. I'll put something down on this spot. You could put a stick down there, a stone down there, or anything like that. And is that the start of your stone circles? Is that the start of your ancient sites being done by somebody just feeling it through the feet or through the bodies and then marking them? And then obviously the stones come into it, which then builds the energy up more. Because if they're getting into the land, because I mean, realistically, we live on a magnetic earth to a certain degree, don't we? So the magnetic fields are there. So you'd feel everything just sort of grab you to that one spot like a magnet.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean by it? I don't know if I'm wording this right, and I was trying to explain it what I mean by it, but
Yeah, you
it's
get
like a magnetic field,
yeah, you
like
get
drawing you into that spot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
No, it's a good way of describing it.
and it's probably the reason why we've got stone circles where we've got them, why we've got sites where we've got them. By somebody just strolling across the land, minding their own business, hunter gathering or whatever they're doing, and finding that there, and just doing it, yeah. And then we get your problem then of human beings wanting to be more better than the next human being, and then you go into power struggles and religion and all that, and then it starts everything off, and then we get the old problem of we destroy everything and all that malarkey, which is what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's interesting about magnetic fields because there are theories that areas of what's coined by some people as high, areas of high strangeness,
Yeah,
or areas of high UFO activity or paranormal activity, or both, or even areas where a lot of cryptids are sighted, or areas where there is some sort of geological formation which is causing
yeah.
of magnetic
It,
energy.
it, it's like UFOs drawn to churches. I mean, I, I don't know how many cases there is of UFOs drawn to churches. Now, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when there was something here before the floods and before natural disasters hit, and then we come along, and then, to be honest, it was something Philip Kinsella said on when you interviewed Philip Kinsella about us not coming from apes, and that resonates with me a lot. Because I don't think we did come from apes. I just don't think we did. I think we come from. I don't like calling it stardust, but like we come from. I'm going to call it stardust. So we come from stardust. So we formed out of another animals formed, another life formed out of what come from the universe, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. It's more over the last few years. That's what I'm really believing now. I just don't believe we come from apes. I just don't know what it is. Now, if there was forms of life here before what we call humans, and do we use the word alien or not? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can use
Yeah, they might be aliens. It could be just another form of us, but not our lineage, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
But we get stories then, don't we? We get UFOs being drawn in caves. We get stuff being drawn coming from us, our human people. But if you think about before that, there could have well have been people fighting dinosaurs that not supposed to be around when we were around. But is that where you get stories like George the Dragon from?
Mm.
Was the dragon a dinosaur? Were beings fighting dinosaurs? We know dinosaurs exist, there's no doubt about that. But there was some humans or other people fighting these creatures, and the stories get locked in your memories and well, your conscious. I'd like to say your consciousness when your DNA and your consciousness are sort of linked, aren't they? So to me, if these are coming through generation after generation after ancestry after ancestry after ancestry, we're going to get stories passed down like that because it was all word of mouth then, wanted it anyway.
Yeah.
And we then get people of power coming in who want to go, oh no, these didn't exist. No, there's no such thing as fairies, no such thing as this, no such thing as that. But if there was, they could have slowly killed them out, if you know what I mean, by word of mouth, and then, oh, that's evil. Let's kill that because it's not normal. If a little fairy's running around the field or something like that, they said, oh, got kill fairy, we're going to kill that. It sounds a bit daft what I'm saying, but we don't know, do we? We just don't know that science is a brilliant thing. I'm not knocking science, but sometimes you think to yourself about science, you think, hang on a minute. Like the other day, I was something about the other day, but talked about Neanderthals. And he couldn't even say, well, we don't know what kind of Neanderthal they were. He was just, in fairness to him, he wasn't putting them in a category. He was saying, I don't know what they were. So I found that quite good that he said it that way. But where folk tales go along, and I think there just could be some truth in some folk tales, and that's another thing I'm trying to learn about and get out about and try and write about as well if I can.
Yeah.
Which relates to all people seeing things, but are you consciously seeing it, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean sometimes a lot of legends are ways that our ancestors explained things that they didn't necessarily understand. But also I think a lot of the legends. I mean, you mentioned George and the Dragon. You know, it is entirely possible that there were still creatures around that we might not necessarily describe as dragons.
Yeah.
But they did at the time because they had no other way of explaining what it was. And there's a really interesting folk tale that I remember reading years and years and years ago. Now, whether it's an allegory rather than and just a folk tale rather than something that's they're usually based on some degree of
they got to be based on something, aren't they?
Yeah, they're usually on some degree of fact. Called the Lambton Worm, which is
I've heard of it. I don't know, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, so yeah, look it up.
I will do, yeah.
On Wikipedia or any search engine or anything, and it'll be on there. And that is very similar to George and the Dragon. I think that's an interesting story about how things were explained away, or how they, how these legends came into folklore. And I think a good guy for people to read, and a guy that I've had on a couple of times is Mark Holly, who.
Oh, I know Mark. I know Mark. Yeah, I know Mark quite well. He's brilliant. I like Mark.
Yeah, very good guest. Really enjoyed having
him.
Yeah. He goes off down, the sort of folklore routes with a lot of stuff as well, which is really interesting. So yeah, ley lines and land energies and that I think are really interesting. I know of quite a few around here. I've got no doubt there are quite a few where you are.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I won't go. Have you've probably heard of All Below?
Yeah.
So I've just ordered myself a copper triangle, and I want to try a bit of. I do use a pendulum if I can help use a pendulum, but I want to try use a pendulum without touching it.
Right.
So I'm not. So I physically can't. My hands not. So I know I'm not doing it.
Influencing it.
And yeah, yeah. So I've ordered a copper, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try up or below. I'm just going to tie the pendulum inside the triangle and just see if there is energy coming off the land, or whether it's created by us but not knowing it by these little bit of movements that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That's another little thing I want to try, because that'd be interesting to me, because that might explain away what I was saying about the humans, the feeling the land and feeling.
Yeah. Good, do you? Yeah.
So I'm going to try that up there, I think, because Arborlow's not. See, I'm quite lucky where I live. I'm not far from Arborlow, Nine Ladies, and all them sites. So
Yeah. Well, you'll have to put some reports on your Facebook.
yeah, I'm just a rubbish writer, Craig. That's the only thing. I'm a rubbish writer, but I do try. I'm trying my best because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, well, there's no reason why you shouldn't. I mean, self-publishing these days is not.
Yeah, yeah.
Stigma around it used to, and everybody starts off as a rubbish writer. I know. And
yeah, well,
sometimes you
I'm just. It's just. It's. What I do when I write as I speak.
Yeah.
And I get told, well, that's not going to make sense to anybody. Sometimes, so that's what I do. So that's be edited. The wife goes through it all for me, but sometimes I think she thinks, "Oh God, another one." You know what I mean?
Well,
so
the only thing you can do is just write it all down, and then
yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah.
once you've written it all down, that's when you start looking at editing it, and the number of different versions you'll end up with is the more versions you have, the better, because you're refining it all the time, so. And you look,
I think, to be honest, when I was handwriting them down, it was better for me.
Yeah.
I started going on the computer doing that. I thought, well, I need to start writing by hand again and then copying, because then when you change them as you go along, then don't you? So
of course, yeah, you can make notes and all
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
sometimes the old ways are the best.
yeah.
Do you know what? It's been great chatting with you, Mark. We're coming up to probably about an hour now, which
That's brilliant.
The time's flown by. I hope that the listeners have enjoyed it as much as I have. You mentioned, or I mentioned earlier on your Facebook page. Is there any other way people getting in contact with you?
Either the Paranormal Stalker page, or which I like the name, by the way, Paranormal Stalker, quite original. But anyway, story about that, but I'll tell you that another time. Or just Mark Reynolds page on Facebook.
Okay, your Paranormal Stalker, is that on Facebook, or?
It says on Facebook, yeah, it says on Facebook. I have got a website which is called Skeptic Believer, but I've got to change that because I've changed my name now, obviously, and I've got to change the domain and all that over. So
okay,
but there is some blogs on that, on the Skeptical Believer site. So
yeah,
there's a few little blogs I've written, so they are on that site. So if anyone could have a look at them if you want to.
okay, brilliant. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mark. Thanks for taking the time to tell us all about your really interesting experiences, actually. And it's good to meet somebody who's a skeptic, but not overly skeptical. You're open-minded, obviously, to what goes on.
Yeah.
Very similar to myself. I think I always start from a point of skepticism and then work up to a point of I haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's been really good to talk to you. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming on. I hope I didn't babble on too much or go on too much a little bit, but
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. It's been really good to talk to you. Thank you.